Well, hello guys, welcome back. This is Maverick, and right now we're going to be watching episode 21 of Steins Gate 0. So, we are nearing the end of this series. I believe 3 episodes left. It ends on episode 23. I do wonder if that was a deliberate decision by the producers, because, episode 23 coincides with the episode 23 where this, I guess, alternate timeline diverged from and whatnot. But yeah, Okabe is in the future right now, right? And, well, he's motivated to find the Steinsgate timeline again, although from last episode he said he's going to use the time leap machine to do so, which, again, I still have my doubts on. And, having the foresight of knowing how it actually, should I call it foresight? Hindsight? How should you call it here? But anyways, knowing that the correct outcome is that the Okabe in the past receives a D-mail from the future, my money is still on them using the D-mail eventually, right? Although, I guess they gotta stretch it out 3 more episodes somehow, so perhaps they're going to be trying some other stuff in the meantime. So, if that is the case or not, let's jump into the episode and find out. Alright, let's begin in 3, 2, 1, play. Oh, looks like no opening this episode as well. Oh, they are going to use the time leap device. Doesn't Daru have nearly a working time machine right now? 3,000 time leaps? How does that work? So he goes back 2 weeks, explains the whole situation, does it again, or is it consecutive? Oh, what? Huh. Yeah, she's an AI. Right. Okay. Huh. Okay. So yeah, it is one by one. All right. But seriously, what happened to the time machine that Daru was building? This BGM that's playing right now. I bet it's used in the visual novel, isn't it? It sounds exactly like the visual novel BGMs that I'm accustomed to. I know I thought of that just now. I guess because maybe this is one of the times where it's being used without, something very, uh, without being action packed, anyways. Hi, Okabe. So he has to experience this feeling every time. 2 weeks, and he needs to do what, 11 years? 2025. When was the time when... But still, shouldn't you still have to contact Maho, and Daru? Well, I guess this is the reunion we can really get from last episode. Alright, repeat this, man, 3,000 times. Yeah. Damn, 3,000 times. That is ludicrous. And there's no way to get accustomed to it, is there? This is body reset. Thankfully, with the wonder of this being an anime, we can skip 3,000 times. Oh, really? Yeah, how's this gonna work then? Yeah, how's this gonna work right now? That's a good question. I didn't even think of that. I mean, at this point, I'm just going to assume that all of this is hand waved away. It's no use trying to rack up your brain cells for this kind of stuff. No, but seriously, how is he going to manage this? So now he's going to be held in captive. So how's he going to manage this? Oh, so that was it? Okay. I was thinking, I thought that he was going to be literally within the facilities. So he was only captured for about 2 weeks? He's in Ueno right now. うん。Look at them getting progressively younger and younger. Ah. You know, I'll talk more about this at the end of this episode. But seriously, how great it would have been if like half the series was just him going back to the past from the future. Let me just read this real quick. Oh, so that's where the opening came from. But wait, what? Huh? What the hell actually happened there? Did they literally cut all of that out? Is this literally the Okabe from 2036? Well, you asked for it. I know this is for dramatic effect, but honestly, any normal person would have thought he whacked his head a little bit too hard. That's definitely what Maho is thinking right now. Long time no see, Kyoma. The Kyoma da! Oh. Vega is the star, you know, within the stories of the Weaver Girl and the... Dang, I forgot what the English name of it was. Kangaroo! うん。Okay. I still kind of think that this is going to fail somewhat. It's going way too smoothly. All right. Oi. Why do you take his lap? Hmm? Okay. So, and taser. All right. Yeah, but still, how? What? Huh? No. They're still. Yeah. Right. They're still gonna be destroyed before they have a chance to. I mean, that's the contingency plan, right? Yeah. Not surprised. Okay, so that ending was honestly coming from a mile away, right? I feel like literally everybody probably predicted that, especially since Okabe talked about it himself right in this very episode. And in fact, wasn't this what he was experiencing right before he went to the future, right? Failing over and over to stop the world from the world lines convergence and Mayuri and Suzuha dying in the time machine, right? I guess because of this big strain on his mental capacity due to him time leaping 3,000 times in a row, he sort of forgot this point, and so was a little bit over enthusiastic in regards to this without actually considering, how to deal with the convergence problem, right? So I'll cut him a bit of slack for this one. Yeah, and some other things to know. So I wasn't expecting them for his capture to only be within 2 weeks, right? Honestly, from last episode, with the way they were talking about it, I thought they were in custody of, I mean, the peacekeeping corps or peacekeeping forces or whatever, or the professor, right? They were in possession of Okabe, I thought, for at least months upon months, and it was only months after that they were able to break in and retrieve him. I didn't expect it to only be in 2 weeks. Um, Man. And honestly, it's very awfully convenient that it's within the time leap limit, right? They were actually able to rescue him within the 2 weeks. Like, what would have happened if, it was the case where I was thinking of and Okabe really was captured by them for over a month, let's just say. Like, I was honestly thinking like a few months, but even if let's just say it's only for 1 month, how exactly is this supposed to work? Like, when you reach a dead end there, like, you time leap back and then you're literally right inside the facility whilst being tortured at the same time, right? In whichever facility the enemy is holding you in. Like, that would basically be GG, right? So yeah, it's awfully convenient that they were able to rescue him in 2 weeks. Plot purposes. But anyways, Watching this episode though, it actually, of course, I'm sure a lot of people would be fawning over the end there with Okabe returning back to Hoenn Kilma and whatnot. It's back to Okabe of the original Steins Gate series, the one that we really like, the one that we love. But honestly, the biggest attraction for me in this episode was actually watching Okabe interact with the future lab members from the future, right? And as I was saying there, it actually kind of makes me wish that they could have devoted half of this series, right, Steinsgate Zero, just watching Okabe in the future, right? Like, picture this. So instead of having all this, this stuff in the, I guess, the past 18 episodes or so, 15 episodes or so. Instead, it was a case where, we fast forwarded and Okabe goes to the future, right, into 2036, and then he learns of this entire situation. He talks with all the lab members of that situation, basically gathers himself up, and then starts his eventual journey back to the past, right? 3,000 time loops. Like, I know he's pressed for time and whatnot, but think about it. There's so much stuff that there's so much character interactions and character development that we could see looking at the characters from the future, right? And allowing Okabe to basically have conversations with them, knowing what's going on with them, being there for the important moments of their life, which is bound to have a profound impact, right? Like, just off of the top of my head, some stuff that I'm really interested in watching all the character interactions and whatnot. So say, for instance, when Suzuha was born, right? That's got to be something that's a cause of great joy and whatnot. Or for when, the first time a lab member actually killed someone else, right? In the future, we see that Ferris and Ruka, they're soldiers and whatnot, and they're basically, we see literally last episode, Ruka using a sword to slash his way through enemy forces and whatnot. That's, that is really, close-up melee combat, right? And Ruka right now is, he can even harm a fly, right? So I feel like it would be much more interesting if we could somehow see, his first kill, the mental anguish that he feels and whatnot, and how he snapped out of it, and how he gradually turns into, the sort of man that gets what needs to be done, as he is now, right? I would have wanted to see that. Or, for instance, when Valkyrie, this sort of resistance group, when it was first formed, what happened there, like, what was each character thinking, so on and so forth, right? And I feel like it would help also to, for Okabe, once he sees how each character is living in the future, right, and progressively, getting worse, and then progressively getting better and better, sort of solidifying his own belief that he wants to protect all of this. I feel like that would be much more compelling as a series, rather than, let's just say, watching them die for the umpteenth time, right? And, it sounds a little bit cold, but I gotta be honest here. Death in Steins Gate right now is basically uninteresting already. Like, literally, even at the very end with Mayuri and Suzuha being killed, like, we feel enough. I don't know about you guys, but I feel nothing, right? And I've talked about this in the past already, but basically knowing in the end that there's a get out of jail card for 3 really kind of takes away the gravity of this whole situation, right? So instead of killing the characters off over and over again, which we've already seen way too much of, how about instead let us see, the character emotions that go through once they encounter something that's not actually death, right? Because there's, like I just mentioned, there's so much stuff that happens in the future as well, and I feel like that could have been explored a lot more, and that would have made a much more interesting series. Like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but that's something that I really would have wanted to see instead. And besides, like, so I can understand why, I actually do understand why each episode talked about the things that it does, because it didn't need to explain a lot of things, right? It had to establish a lot of foundations. But let's face it, just by pure eyeing it or ballparking it, I feel like the anime explained less than half of what actually happened, right? I don't know anything about the visual novel. I haven't played it or whatnot, but just going by what I feel right now in terms of all the other unexplained stuff and whatnot, I feel like less than half has been adapted and put in here into the anime, right? And again, I'm giving the visual novel the benefit of the doubt because I know some of you guys said that it has its own problems as well. It didn't properly explain everything, but still, I'm giving it the benefit of the doubt. I'd say like a lot of stuff isn't properly explained here. Like Kaguri, like for instance, Kaguri, her entire thing, like why did she, her origins and whatnot, the entire plan, what happened after she came to the past, etc., etc. Why did she suddenly break free at the very end there? Those kind of stuff. Or say, for instance, the fact that this is clearly a timeline where Mayuri was supposed to be alive in the future, right? Suzuha and Kaguri travel from the future to the past in the same timeline, and Mayuri is still alive. How come, without changing the future? Without changing the past, without reading Steiner being activated, suddenly this turns into a timeline where Mari is dead, right? So how does that make sense? Like, is there an adequate explanation for that? How about the entire situation between Stratfor and Durpa, right? Like, what happened there? How come they are fighting it out? And, from some of the original from some of the original scenes, it seemed that Durpa was the one that won in the end, right? And in fact, the professor looked like he was killed or something like that, which obviously is, well, actually I can't say obviously because you can't take anything for granted now with the way this series is going. But still, what was the what happened there? How come they were suddenly fighting each other and whatnot? And like, there's just so much stuff. I'm not going to go through each and every one of them. You guys have probably listened to me complain or question a lot of these things in the discussion parts for 21 episodes already. So, but I'm just saying, right? The point I'm trying to make is instead of doing something that's impossible and adapting everything where you clearly don't have the time anyways, why not just make it into something where it's fun for everyone, and it's actually something new and exciting instead, because it's not something where we know the end of the outcome, so it doesn't really matter, right? I guess you could say that even their emotions don't matter as well, because it's all going to be changed, but I don't know. I just feel like I would have preferred them to see them react to something beyond one of their own being killed, right? So yeah. And well, 2 more episodes left, right? And I still stand by my belief from the beginning and from last episode as well, that the key to this, obviously we know the key is that they need to somehow, fool the entire world, right? But I'm saying that the key item that they're going to use is still going to be the time machine and the demon. Like, seriously, I thought in 2036 Daru invented the time machine, right? So what happened there? Why couldn't they use the time machine to do something about it? I don't know, but anyways, and at the very end, we still need the future Okabe to send a D-mail to a past Okabe, right? So obviously the D-mail is still going to be something that they need to get going. They need to, they need to get it hooked up. I do think that right now in this time period, they've already sort of kind of made a D-mail. Actually, I don't know. I know they're using the microwave. Have they made the D-mail? Don't really know. But that is important, right? So, anyways. Yeah. I feel like that's, this doesn't, I'm not really giving much in regards to predictions or whatnot, because I think it's kind of pointless, in a sense where we already know in the end what's going to happen. And really, a lot of this stuff, it's not, it's kind of blindsiding me in a sense, in a lot of the ways that they were doing things. Like, for instance, I really wasn't expecting them to literally time leap all the way to the past. I thought there would be way too much problems in regards to that. But yeah, I guess that's that, right? Like, I could understand that he wants, we want Okabe to be in a young body, but still, couldn't he have achieved the exact same thing if he instead went in a time machine, went back to the past, and then used the D-mail then, not the D-mail then, but the time leap then, to time leap to the current times, the current Okabe? Wouldn't that also work as well? But Anyways, that's not important. So let's just see how they manage to wrap this all up, right? And what exactly becomes the inspiration for Okabe to find this method of tricking the entire world again, or for the first time, or yeah, whatever. You guys get what I mean. Anyways, see you guys next time. Bye bye.